Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel, Gotta Go Orlando. Emma and Shane here, and today we are jumping over to Tampa Bay to chat about all the things you might not know about Busch Gardens Tampa. In this video we hope to answer all your questions, such as how to get there if you're vacating in Orlando, what to expect when you arrive, is it worth visiting the park, and so much more.
So if you're heading to Florida for your vacation and thinking about heading to Busch Gardens Tampa for a visit, this video can help you plan out your trip. So everyone, you might be wondering, what is Busch Gardens Tampa? Well, Busch Gardens Tampa is a theme park and a zoological park. Now if you're visiting Orlando, Florida, this is a great park. It's about an hour and a half drive depending on where you're staying. Busch Gardens Tampa has something for everyone. An amazing blend of thrill rides, live entertainment and animal encounters.
The park was opened in 1959 by Anheuser-Busch as a hospitality centre for the brewery. Now originally the park was called the Dark Continent and showcased animals in their natural habitats from Africa, with a few amusement park rides as well. Over the years more exhibits were added and the park's focus shifted towards animal conservation and education. The park also expanded to include more rides, roller coasters and attractions for visitors of all ages. In 2009 the park was sold to Blackstone Group and then to SeaWorld Entertainment Incorporated in 2018. Today, Busch Gardens Tampa features a variety of attractions for all ages, including themed lands inspired by different countries and cultures, such as Egypt, the Congo and Morocco. Busch Gardens Tampa also houses over 3,000 animals from around the world and offers opportunities for up-close animal encounters and educational experiences.
So everyone, you're probably wondering how to get there from Orlando. So if you're staying around the iDrive and Universal area, it'll take you approximately an hour and a half. Obviously this is dependent on the traffic and everything, and then from Walt Disney World about an hour and 20 minutes. So like I say, it really depends on the traffic, but the best way to get there is by car. If you do go with other transports like the bus service, it may take you longer. So as we all know, if you've got a car, it just means you can relax, you can stop off, get drinks from 7-Eleven if you want, and just take the road as you come out. Whereas obviously if you get the bus, you have to get up a little bit earlier, plus you can lose some of the park time. If you're not driving, don't worry, there is a shuttle service that will take you to the park for free as long as you have a valid park ticket. Now this bus service is from Orlando to Busch Gardens Tampa. Now Mears offer round trip services from many convenient Orlando area locations. Now this is a complimentary service, so it's a complete free trip to Busch Gardens as long as you have your paid Busch Gardens Tampa admission ticket. Now due to the high demand of this bus service, it is recommended that you reserve your seats in advance on their website. Now you can either do it through their website or you can even call them. Now it's really easy to find the website. All you have to type into Google is Busch Gardens Tampa bus service. Now once on the website, all you have to put in is your location where you're staying, and they'll give you a select amount of places that the bus service can pick you up from. Now when using the bus service, the only thing is you could be arriving as late as 11:30. So the park opens at 10 o'clock. You could be losing about an hour and a half of ride time. But again, this is a great service if you haven't got a car and you're staying in Orlando and you really want to go to Busch Gardens Tampa. Now one thing we really recommend is, if you want to beat some of those long park entry waits, is get to the park at least 30 minutes before the park opens. This will give you a head start within the start of the park.
Yes Emma, that is an amazing top tip. Another one of the top tips I would give is download the app. Having the Busch Gardens Tampa app can save you so much time. When rides go down, ease stopping, long queue times, you can see it all in the palm of your hand. Busch Gardens is such a big park and you do not want to waste time walking halfway across the park to find out that the ride you're heading to is closed. The app is very good and it's constantly updated, so we definitely recommend you using it on your visit. Now the next question is, when is the best time to visit? Now like most parks, we know the best time is when the schools are not on holidays, but we know most people go on their vacations in the summer holidays, and that is when it's going to be peak times. For myself and Emma, we always try to aim to go midweek because we find this part of the week is the quietest. We always stay away from the weekends because the park gets really crowded. Also, Busch Gardens opens throughout the Christmas period, and these times can also be quiet as well. Which then leads me on to fast passes, line passes, whatever you call them. We don't personally use them because we always head to Busch Gardens in the off-peak times. We find them to be quite expensive on top of a park admission, but they average anywhere between $80 upwards to $150 depending on the time of the year, the crowds in the park. I'll leave a link below for the Busch Gardens website so you can check when you're visiting. So now let's move on to parking. Busch Gardens Tampa offers several parking options for guests. The cost of standard parking is currently $25 per vehicle per day, and preferred parking is available for $35 per vehicle per day. Now, it is recommended to purchase your ticket before arriving to the park, and this will save you having to mess around with money and also save you time. Now, what we would say is if you don't mind a little bit of a walk, I would stick to the standard parking as the transport shuttle is very good and it's constantly running. I would only use preferred parking if it's essential.
Now everyone, we're up to the ticket options. Now obviously make sure to check out Busch Gardens Tampa's website. There are so many different options and deals. Plus, if you're thinking about visiting SeaWorld Orlando, definitely check out their website as well because there's different deals from each website. So this means you can get dual options if you want to go to SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, or if you want to do SeaWorld, Busch Gardens plus maybe one of their water parks. There's so many different options. Make sure to check out their websites. Plus, there's so many options if you want to become an annual pass holder just like us. So now the next question is, can this park be done in one day? Now, yes and no is the answer. Obviously, if you have only got one day, then yes, you can get the majority of it done in one day, but the thing is, you're going to have to pick and choose. Personally, we would say it's a 2-day park. If you want to take your time to see all the animal exhibits and ride every roller coaster plus see the live shows, then we definitely say it's a 2-day park. And one other thing that we love to do when we're at Busch Gardens Tampa is after the theme park closes, or even just before, we love to take a drive to St. Pete Beach and catch that amazing sunset. It's totally worth the trip. Okay, it's a little bit added on to your extra bit of the day, but it's totally worth it. And sometimes we've even got a hotel and stayed for the next day just to even do the beach for the day. So yeah, it's a great top tip. The next question is, what time does the park open? Rope drop is around 10 AM and the park closes anywhere between 6 PM and 10 PM, but it's best to check the park calendar for your Pacific date.
The next question is, do you have to pay if you're a spectator? As of this video, there is no spectator fee. You will have to pay the park entry even if you're not riding any of the attractions. Now our next question is, other than the rides, what else is there to do at Busch Gardens? Honestly, there is so much to do. You have shows, you have events held throughout the year. You've got the Ice Show Turn It Up remix, which is also an award-winning show. Also, a great way to explore the park is the Serengeti Express train ride, which will take you around the full park where you can see amazing animals. And the great thing is you can hop on and hop off the express to check out all the different exhibits around the park. Animal showtimes will be displayed on each enclosure if they are doing a feeding or educational show. So this can help you plan your day to maximise your time when you're visiting. Moving on to our next question, is the park beautiful? The park is set on a 335-acre plot of land with lots of plants, trees and gardens, and even animals. I definitely would not say that this park is a concrete hell. It's green, inviting, and it really has captured all the themes of the different lands with the buildings, shops and food offerings. We love how Busch Gardens has captured the theme in each area. It's a really truly beautiful park to explore.
So the next question is, which is better, Busch Gardens Tampa or Universal? Now this is a question we get personally a lot. Well, it all boils down to what you want from your parks. I'm a super theming fan. I love all the theming, and the level of detail Universal goes into its parks is amazing, but I also really like my roller coasters, and Busch Gardens has ticked that box. Plus, for me, both parks between Universal and Busch Gardens are completely different feels. Like I say, for me and Shane, we feel there's a different vibe between them, and literally, honestly, what I would say is definitely try out both parks. For me, I honestly feel Universal and Islands of Adventure is a little bit better. I do love the details and the coasters there. I mean, I truly love Velocicoaster. But again, Busch Gardens is also a really impressive park, and it's a must do. I mean, there's so many amazing coasters such as Iron Gwazi, SheiKra, Tigris. I mean, like I say, if you've got the time, definitely visit both parks. Now, another question we actually get asked quite a lot is, why do some of the rides close? So everyone, Busch Gardens Tampa is a park that is open 365 days of the year. So this means sometimes during off-peak or even on-peak, certain attractions will be closed for maintenance. Now this is quite normal. All the Orlando theme parks do this, like Walt Disney World, Universal, SeaWorld. It does happen. I mean, these rides are running all year round. Now the great news is Busch Gardens Tampa has actually got a website, and they've even posted all the rides that will be closed, how many days, and sometimes they might not even be closed for that many days. But the great thing is the website will keep you up to date when the ride closures are happening. So everyone, the next question is, what's new for 2023? Well, Busch Gardens Tampa has actually already opened their brand new attraction back in February, and this is the world's tallest and fastest ride of its kind. This is a swing ride where riders will soar high and above Busch Gardens Tampa. This is an amazing attraction, and you get amazing views of Busch Gardens. The Serengeti Flyers feature twin dueling arms that soar a maximum height of 135 feet, reaching speeds of 6 to 8 miles per hour. Guests are seated back to back in rows of 10 across, and this is allowing up to 40 guests to experience the ride at one time. We definitely recommend you checking out this new attraction. We absolutely love it, and it is definitely a fun and amazing ride. Check it out.
Moving on to our next question, which is, what ride would you do at Rope Drop? Now, should you enter the park and you see Iron Gwazi testing, join the queue, because this gets busy and quick. But if you enter the park and Iron Gwazi is nothing happening, no activity, I would head around to Cheetah Hunt, because the queues on this ride can get pretty long, with up to 40-minute plus waits. Now, I'm sure some of you will be thinking, well, why don't we head towards the back of the park to like SheiKra and stuff? And this would be a good option, but unfortunately, Busch Gardens Tampa stagger their ride opening times, so you could head right up to the back of the park and these attractions won't even be open as yet. So for us, we stick around the front end of the park and work our way back throughout the day. And then our final question, is it worth visiting the theme park, Busch Gardens Tampa? For me, yes. We definitely find the drive definitely worth it for this park. There's so much to see and do. There's so many amazing coasters which you wouldn't find in Orlando. If you love roller coasters, animal experiences, Busch Gardens is definitely worth the trip. Some of the top attractions at Busch Gardens include SheiKra, Tigris, Falcon's Fury, Iron Gwazi, and many more. On top of all of that, you have all the animals from around the world to explore, and the award-winning shows. Even if you're not a big fan of these big roller coasters and attractions, there is plenty for you to do in the park. But ultimately, it is up to you to weigh up the benefits and drawbacks of making the trip to Busch Gardens Tampa. Now, if I had one critique, it would be the height of summer when the love bugs come out. It gets really crazy and very annoying. You'll find most of the day you'll spend slapping love bugs off your arms, legs, face. and it can put a bit of a downer on your day. Also, I would say there is not a lot of attractions for young children, so I wouldn't recommend driving all the way if it's just with kids. You have Sesame Street, which you can find almost an identical version in Orlando at SeaWorld. Like I said before, the park is massive and you will spend most of the day walking around, so make sure you put good walking shoes on. Definitely utilise the Serengeti Express because this can drop you off in different sections of the park and you can hop on and hop off. Now personally, I would say that Busch Gardens is aimed more for the thrill seekers, teens upward, with a collection of truly thrilling coasters. We hope you've enjoyed this video and we hope we've answered all of them important questions you've been looking for. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Please don't forget to smash that subscribe for more videos like this and that notification bell. Don't forget we have our website which covers everything to do with entertainment, theme parks and attractions in Orlando and Florida. So all I can say now is TikTok.
Gotta go?
Gotta go Orlando, guys.
Thank you so much for watching, and remember to check out these two videos right here.